So, how I advocate for anybody that comes to me for services is encouraging them to advocate for themselves. So, what I like to do is give them the resources. I can sit by them while they make those phone calls or fill out that paperwork, but it really is them that, just letting them know that they are a powerful being and they can do these things on their own. Giving them the resources, but allowing them to make those phone calls for themselves and, advocate for themselves. One of the biggest instances that comes to mind is really, and especially again, I'm in that perinatal population, is how you want that birth to go. So we do fill out a plan of safe care with everybody. And it's not so much like a birth plan, but just a guideline. So if they are in delivery, there's something that they may not have wanted in the beginning. It's just me being able to sit there and say, hey, like this is what's in what we have written down for how you wanted this to go. Is this still something that you want to be a part of your plan? And they can say yes or no. But again, that's reminding them that they can advocate for themselves. And I'm just here to kind of be that hand holder if needed. But I've also found too, just being in the room with other people, they really do advocate for themselves, just knowing that they have somebody there that has their back. I would run through with an experienced community health worker first what that might look like, that conversation, whether that is with, WIC or SNAP or anything that you're helping, the resources that you're connecting them with. Actually making those phone calls yourself so you know what the client is going to expect, I guess. So you kind of have a little bit more information than they do going into it. That's something that is really in a lot of my trainings is if you know just that one piece of information more, then you can be helpful to somebody else. So really knowing how they're answering the phones, if they are friendly, if maybe they are a little more monotone, so that you can prepare your client for that. And also mock conversations, whether that is with an experienced community health worker or if it's with your client or patient that's going to be making the phone calls so that they do have that preparation for those resources because that can be intimidating getting connected with resources, especially if you've never done it before or never been in that situation before. Because some you might need your driver's license or birth certificates or social security cards right then and there at the appointment. And if you show up, you've been waiting for an hour and you don't have those things, then you have to do the whole process all over again. Learn the resources as much as you can for all of Montana because the likelihood of somebody staying in one place, or even like maybe they've tried that clinic before and had an awful experience, you need to be able to refer them to a second place. Or if they do relocate, you have to know those resources too. So you're not just like, I found Googling in front of patients is not my favorite. It does give you that level of like humanity though, and being like, yes, I am human. I don't know everything, but having that list of big agencies and as much of Montana as you can. And I know a lot of the resources in the cohort that I did were brand new to me, especially. So I think like housing and transportation in other cities in Montana is the most important. Another piece of advice is make a list of like what resources you need, whether that's housing, transportation, medical, behavioral health, and making your own resource list because you might get one from somebody else and none of those resources are even relevant anymore or open.